You guys, welcome to the Kelly Kitchen. Who's joining me? I might be a little early. Hi. I'm just gonna wait here for a second before I get started. Welcome to the Kelly Kitchen, where we do food, health, and fun. We have so much going on tonight, and I'm so happy that you joined me. I'm just going to adjust this camera here so that these people can see everything. And let's see if I can get this going. I hope I can. Let's see. I'll get it a little bit. Okay, we have seriously, like, so much stuff going on tonight. It was a very busy day. I'm sorry, I'm like right in your face here. Hi, Atsuko. Hi, Lisa. I actually did not have to go to work today, so I got a lot of stuff done. Okay, I'm just gonna back up a little bit. That was a little too close. So we have some sort of curry things going tonight. We've got a roasted cauliflower. Actually, I mixed cauliflower and broccoli. We're going to do that in like just a curry season, and we're going to get that into the oven pretty quickly here. We're going to do a chicken satay, and we are going to do a Thai peanut dipping sauce. And then we're going to make my no-bake keto granola bars. So good. So without further ado, let's get busy. I'll just move this back a little bit so you can see. So I've already got my cauliflower and, oh shoot, oh my God. Sorry guys, this is part of watching in the Kelly Kitchen. Technical difficulty, sorry. My whole thing just fell over. There, that's what I was trying to do. Okay. Hi. Okay. Sorry, I almost just dropped the whole thing. Ah! Okay, we're going to get started. I've got some cauliflower and some broccoli. I already chopped that up because we all know that I hate chopping that up. It makes a huge mess. I'm going to drizzle that with some olive oil. That's probably like a quarter of a cup, maybe 2 to 3 tablespoons. I am going to generously season with salt. That was probably about 2 teaspoons. And we're going to do some cracked pepper. And then I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of curry powder. It's probably about a teaspoon. I really don't have any rhyme or reason to this. I just want to we eat cauliflower so often that I just wanted to give it a little, just a little twist, try something new. So I did a little bit of curry seasoning, and I'm going to do a little bit of garlic powder. I already did the salt and the pepper, and then I'm just going to give it a little toss. See how I covered my tray in tin foil? That makes for super easy cleanup. And I've got my oven going at 375. I'll probably do this for like, I don't know, 30 minutes, and then give it a little toss, and then I might even put it on broil to get the tops of it browned a little bit. So I've already got this going at 375. We'll just put that in for 30 minutes. We're going to do, the next thing we're going to get started on is our chicken satay. And the reason we're going to do this next is because we're going to actually marinate it for about 15 to 20 minutes. You can do this overnight. You can do this, like right when you get home. But the key is that you want this to marinate for at least a little while to give the chicken some flavor. So I have chicken cutlets. You can get chicken breasts if you want. Hi, Julie. You can get chicken breasts if you want and just slice them thinly. I use chicken cutlets because they do the job for me. And then I'm going to cut them in strips, and I'll show you how I do that. Easy marinade. I have a half of a cup of coconut cream, And can be a little bit difficult to find in the supermarket. I found it in sort of the baking section, but this is what I get. Thai Kitchen, there was only 2 brands there. And it actually is kind of it's an interesting consistency because the top half is a really thick, hard cream. And then the bottom half is like a coconut milk. And when I open up the can, this is what it looks like. And hi, Vic. Welcome from Canada. Nice to see you. So this is the coconut cream, and I took a half a cup of this, and I put it into the microwave, and that's what gave me this nice coconut cream that's all nice and velvety smooth. And so to this mixture, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of curry. And I've been going through curry like a mad woman. So there's 1 tablespoon. And the thing about chicken satay that is kind of an interesting mix is that you need a little bit of sweetness to it. So we're going to add some stevia to it. But and this is some chili paste. I keep it in the fridge, but it's super hot. And I'm just going to add 2 teaspoons of this to the mix. So we have sort of that sweet and spicy thing going on with our, here, I'm going to show you what this looks like. This just is like a kind of a chunky chili paste. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of this. Then I'm going to add 10 drops of, ooh, that's spicy. I can feel it in my eyes. Okay, so 10 drops of stevia, liquid stevia, and that's just going to add, who just said hi to me? That's the best stuff. Yes, it is, Rebecca. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to add 10 drops of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to put this to the side because we're going to use that again for something else. Then I'm just going to mix this together. And once I get my chicken in here, we're just going to let this sit to the side and kind of pull in all those delicious curry coconut flavors. And I have a little bit of sweet, a little bit of spicy. So I've got my chicken cutlets. Again, if most supermarkets do this, I always sort of think of chicken cutlets as something that the East, like in New Jersey, they always are making chicken cutlets. But anyways, it's just a chicken breast that's been thin sliced. Do you see that? See how thin sliced? So what I'm going to do is that, it is Rosette. Rosette, East Coast chicken cutlets are everywhere there. They're not so much here in California, but you can find them. But you just slice the chicken in thin slices. So we're going to cut these in strips. And this whole idea came out of, I love going to like weddings where they have past hors d'oeuvres, and they always have the chicken skewers, and that's always sort of a safe keto thing for me to get. And so I wanted to recreate that recipe at home, but I have 0 time to be threading this with a skewer, and it always burns and it never fits in the pan. So I just cut them in strips like this and put them into my seasoning there. I think I have probably like 3 or 4 cutlets here, and we're just gonna, each one goes into 3 pieces, just like this, and we're gonna get those into our cream and curry sauce. As soon as we're done putting this in the marinade, we're gonna get busy on the peanut dipping sauce. And we're going to, ooh, I had an extra piece there. My goodness, that was kind of big. Okay, almost done with that. I have got a cast iron skillet oiled up over there, and that is going to get nice and hot, and we'll sear those when we're ready. I'm going to put this off to the side. We'll wash that in just a second. So here I have my chicken. It is nicely coated. And this is, you can do this the night before, or you can do it, I would say give it at least 15 to 20 minutes to really soak in all of those flavors. And we're just going to put that to the side. So we've got our roasted cauliflower and broccoli with a little curry going in the oven. We've got our curry and coconut chicken satay kind of marinating. Next up, we are going to do this Thai peanut dipping sauce. And again, it's sort of that like sweet, salty, spicy mix. And the recipe doesn't actually, it only makes 4 servings. So whenever I make this recipe, I actually double it and sometimes triple it and occasionally quadruple it, because I use this peanut dipping sauce for my Thai chicken fathead pizza. I use it obviously for this. I use it for my bacon avocado Thai tacos. We drizzle it over all different types of vegetables, our cauliflower, rice. So we're just going to make a double recipe tonight. Where's my peanut butter? We're going to make a double recipe tonight so that we have a little bit of leftover for, I had to write out my recipes tonight because my printer ran out of ink. That was on the list of things to do today. I didn't get to it. Okay, so we're going to just double this recipe, and I like to use, as you guys know, pre-done garlic. If you can do your own, if you want to chop up your own garlic and mash up your own garlic, by all means. I just have to pick my battles, and sometimes I just don't have time to be doing all that. I also use pre-crushed ginger. You can use powdered ginger if you want. You can use fresh ginger. This also comes in ginger as well. So those are just things that make it a lot easier to do. So we're going to double this recipe. So the real recipe calls for 1/2 cup of peanut butter. We are going to do a full cup of peanut butter. Actually, I don't even think I need to do that. I can just go this way. So we're going to do a full cup of peanut butter. I love using Laura Scudder's peanut butter because you can find it everywhere, even at Costco, and it's super creamy. You got to stir it all together. The only ingredients are peanuts, which I love. So Laura Scudder's peanut butter. Nothing special about that, but okay, so you've got your cup of peanut butter, because I'm doubling the recipe. I'm going to do 4 cloves of garlic, which is kind of like just 4, oh goodness, I have slippery fingers. 4 little squirts of garlic, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to do 2 tablespoons of ginger. And again, you can use powdered ginger, you can use fresh ginger, but it really adds a really nice flavor to that. We're going to whisk all this together in a second. Okay, so I've got my garlic, I've got my ginger. We're going to do 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. This is low sodium. You could use liquid amino, or you can use tamari. This is what I had on hand. This is what we're using. This is just a regular low sodium soy. It is not completely carb free, but again, I got to pick my battles. So there is our soy sauce. Let me tell you a little bit about rice wine vinegar. Okay, so every supermarket will carry rice wine vinegar, but all of it is usually filled with sugar. So this brand, which is carried in all supermarkets, usually is the one that has the sugar in it. But this one is sugar-free. So it's just plain rice wine and 0 carbs. So if you can find this, go for it. If you cannot find it, just omit it. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Liz. So don't worry about it if you can't find this, but if you can, make sure you find the sugar-free one. This one happened to be at the local Gelson's, which is, you know, one of the supermarkets that I go to. I go to many. Okay, so we are going to do 2 tablespoons because again, I'm doubling this. 1, 2, and the other part about making this peanut sauce is that it gets better over time. It gets more flavorful over time, and I love that. Okay, so we're going to add 20 drops of liquid stevia. If you want to use monk fruit extract, you can. If you want to use the Lakanto monk fruit sweetener that I use, you can use that instead. Just use like a tablespoon of the granular, and it'll dissolve in the mixture. So we're going to do 20 drops of stevia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, great. That gives it a little bit of a sweetness to it. We're going to do red pepper flakes. Do not be afraid to do the red pepper flakes, but we're going to do the recipe calls for a half a teaspoon, but we're going to put a full teaspoon. And again, it will all sort of meld together over time, giving it great flavor. It only gets better with time. Oh, I forgot my sesame oil. Where did I put it? There it is. So we're going to do sesame oil, and don't you love how organized I am? When I can find things. Okay, so we're going to do 4 tablespoons of sesame oil. This adds a really nice flavor. This is a toasted dark sesame oil. 3. And I just have a little drop left. And then this is kind of a weird thing to add, but we add balsamic vinegar, and it adds like a nice depth to it. So we're going to add, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I know that this sounds like a lot of ingredients, but once you make this, you'll have it in your fridge, and then you can just let it sort of marinate together. Okay, we're going to add a cup of water. Actually, we're going to start with a half a cup first because we want to thin this out and get it to be nice and sort of like it has a nice drizzle to it. And we'll get that going. While I'm stirring this, I got to update you guys on a few things. I'm super excited. I was asked to be on the panel for Quit Sugar Summit. The quitsugarsummit.com is an online summit where if you want to listen to all the experts in the field about cholesterol and about kids in keto or kids in low carb or heart disease or different strategies to help you kick sugar out of your life or quit sugar out of your life. So I've been asked to be on the panel for that, and I'll be sitting for that. And then the actual summit will run from March 2nd to March 8th. Who's joining me? Hi, Lisa. Oh, yeah. So I've got my peanut sauce mixed up, and that I'm going to just let sit and marinate for a little bit and let that sit to the side. So here I've got my chicken, which is doing its thing. Got my peanut sauce, which is doing its thing. I've got my roasted cauliflower, my curried cauliflower, and broccoli doing its thing in the oven. And we are going to get started on my keto granola bars. Oh my gosh, you guys, these like quickly became a favorite. And I call them my almost perfect keto granola bars because they really are, except for when I think of a granola bar, I think of something that I can just toss in my purse or toss in my car. And these definitely have to go from fridge to mouth because of the binder that I use. It's not like something that you find in a factory where it hardens and it has a massive shelf life. So let's just make them, and then I can tell you a little bit more about them. I'm going to clean up my area here. I got a little messy. But these come together super fast, and they're no bake, no oven time. You do have to keep them in the fridge for about an hour. I've just put them right into the freezer for an hour, and then I keep them there, and I'm going to show you what those look like. But I got started, and I have just 1/4 of a cup of melted butter in here. Then I'm going to add a half of a cup. Oh, I lost my spoon. I'm gonna add a half more cup of we're very heavy peanut butter today. We're gonna add a half a cup of my Laura Scudder's peanut butter. And then I'm gonna show you another product that is another low carb sweetener. Okay, so there I have my half a cup of peanut butter. Oh, by the way, thank you to my cousin Josh Tannenbaum. Last week, why didn't anybody tell me? I was like cooking in the dark last week. I'm super dark. And my cousin gave me a shout out and he was like, cuz, you need to turn those lights on. So next time I look like I'm cooking in the dark, can you all please let me know? Because I want you guys to be able to see stuff. Okay, so there's my peanut butter and my butter. Here is what I want to show you. Let me get my measuring cup out. So we're going to use, I was not prepared. We're going to use a third of a cup. This, I use a sweetener that I know you guys have heard me talk about. It's a powdered sweetener called allulose. Allulose. And it's not a sugar alcohol, and it doesn't spike your blood sugar, and it is a real sugar, but it metabolizes a little bit different. Well, this company makes a maple syrup, and they also make a honey flavored liquid sweetener. And allulose is a great product to use. It doesn't harden like all of my other sugar alcohols. So it kind of stays soft and liquidy until you do something with it. So we're going to mix it with this stuff and then we're going to freeze it. So it'll hold everything together. But I have never, ever seen this in a supermarket. So you're going to have to get this online. And it lasts a really long time. But this is great for if you make keto pancakes. You can use this maple syrup, which is only less than a carb for a full teaspoon. And, you know, think about it. Pancakes, you're not going to go crazy, but just use enough and keep it super low carb. And I think I have a link on my website for this. I don't know. Sorry. If I don't, I will put one on, I promise. So I have honey and I have maple syrup. Tonight we're going to use the maple syrup. You can use the honey. There are other low carb honeys on the market. The one that I've seen that is pretty popular is made with xylitol. I prefer not to use xylitol because it gives me a stomach ache and it causes distress. So, and also it's highly, highly toxic to pets. So I don't really want to keep that in the house. I have two amazing kitty cats that I just don't want to expose to huge quantities of xylitol. So that's why I use erythritol, and I use allulose, and I use stevia, and I use monk fruit. So we're going to do a third of a cup of the maple syrup low carb sweetener. And interestingly enough, everything else that we're going to do is basically we're going to mix all this together. And then we're going to mix in here, I've already roasted pecans, shredded unsweetened coconut, slivered almonds, and what else am I doing? Oh, some Lily's chocolate chips. So these are kind of like trail mix bars, and you have a nice sort of soupy mix, I guess you would call it. So we are going to put in, I have already roasted my pecans and my slivered almonds. We are going to do, where did all my stuff go? Give me a second. There we go. Okay, so we are going to do a half a cup of slivered almonds. we're gonna do a half a cup of my toasted shredded coconut. You can use coconut flakes if you want, because they're a little bit bigger and a little bit more chewy, I guess you would say. But make sure that your coconut is unsweetened. It's pretty sweet just on its own. As soon as your palate adapts, regular coconut that's unsweetened is very sweet. I am going to, I just gotta grab another cutting board. My cauliflower smells amazing. I just got a whiff. We're going to do a cup. That's a half a cup. That's about a full cup. And we're going to do a rough chop on my already roasted pecans. I like to roast these pecans in bulk, and then I keep them in a Ziploc bag in the freezer. If that gets you in trouble because they're very easy to overeat, then don't do that. Do it in batches. But there's something about roasted nuts that can get you into trouble. Okay, so I'm just going to take my whisk out of here because I don't want all my stuff sticking in there. I'll stir it up with this. So I've got my roasted pecans in there. I'm going to turn on my skillet. I've already got it oiled up. I'm going to get that nice and hot. Who's just visiting me now? Hi, Shane. Great to see you. Maggie and I are going to be cooking next Sunday, so tell her to get ready. I'm going to be babysitting my goddaughters next weekend. Okay, so here we are. I'm just stirring all of this together. Now, here's the thing. We're going to add chocolate chips, but you need to make sure that your butter, because I would have just microwaved the butter and got it nice and hot, but I did it in advance so it would cool down. But you want to make sure that everything cools down so that you don't melt the chocolate chips, because you want them to be whole inside your bars. Okay, so I need to do, so it's a half a cup, a half a cup, a half a cup of each of my things, except for the pecans, which is a full cup. So there's that. You guys are gonna die when you see these. They come together so nicely. I sent some off to Peter's office today. He had to work. I did not. I worked from home. And by the way, did you guys check out my Instagram picture? I just posted it. I made the most gorgeous raspberry cheesecake today. I mean, these are the things that can happen when I don't have to go to work. I can make a whole cheesecake and get the recipe going and get the pictures taken. So check that out. I'll have that recipe up very soon. This is so amazing. Okay, check it out. We have coconut, nuts, so good. A little bit of chocolate chips. And then we're going to put it right into this is an 8x8, could be 9x9. Actually, I think it's 9x9. It's a 9x9, sorry. It's a 9x9 baking pan, and I've lined it with parchment paper. Because this is not being baked, you can do wax paper, you can do tin foil, it doesn't matter. But really what you want is for it to be in a liner so that you can pull it out when it's all frozen, and then you'll be able to cut it into bars. So I'm just pressing this into the pan. This will make 18 bars. You can certainly cut them into smaller bars if you want. And then you can wrap them individually. Like I said, they really need to go from fridge or freezer to mouth because they don't stay hard like factory made granola bar because they don't have a lot of the junk that's in it. But I'm telling you, well, I will show you in just a second when I get this out of the freezer. When I put it in the freezer, I have some that I made yesterday. Okay, check it out. This is what these look like. These are going in the freezer, and I'm going to freeze them overnight before I cut them, but they'll be probably ready within an hour. And then you can cut them into little bars. Check it out. It's very exciting. There are my keto granola bars. Can you see? They have a very nice crunch to them and chewy. You could probably use almond butter instead of peanut butter if you wanted to. That one's mine. I'll save it for later. So much flavor, so great. Those are going back in my freezer. I wanted to show you something else that I did. My pan is getting nice and hot, and we're gonna put our chicken in it in just a second, but I wanted to just make mention. Do you remember all those lemons that I have? I still have a huge batch of lemons. I want to show you what I did. Somebody on my page, I can't remember who it was, but they're a freaking genius. I don't know why I didn't think of this, but I squeezed about 10 lemons. This is the lemon juice in these little lemon muffin cups. And then as soon as these are totally frozen, I will pop them out of the silicone mold and I'll put them in a Ziploc bag. And voila, I have ready-made lemon juice. So happy because Meyer lemons in my supermarket, I think they're like $8 a pound. It's ridiculous. So anyways, check it out. There's my lemon juice ready to go. Very happy about that. Okay. Guys, we're totally cooking. Our peanut sauce is doing great. It's time to put our chicken satay. Ooh, it's nice and hot. I've got an easy cleanup tonight. This is going to be very nice. So we're going to just lay these down. This will probably be about 1 to 3 minutes per side. And my pan is nice and oily, so nothing will stick. And this was a full pound of chicken. This will be plenty for Peter and I and Piper to eat for dinner. If Piper does not join us for dinner, then we will have plenty for leftovers tomorrow too. And this is going to get a nice sear on both sides of the chicken. And after I get these nice and seared on both sides, I add them to just a regular plate and I cover them with some tin foil to finish the cooking. It's kind of like it steams them. We have just enough room in the pan. If you don't have enough room in the pan, you're going to have to do this in batches, which is fine. All of this leftover juice that's in here, we're going to throw this away. We don't need this, and we don't want it in our pan because we don't want our pan to get soupy. We want the chicken to get a really nice sear on it. So it's doing its job, and we're just going to let it sit for just a second. I'm going to just rinse this baby off. We'll have this out of the way. I got to take a sip. It's hotter than heck in here, and I'm wearing a sweater like it's middle of winter. Did you hear that? That's our roasted cauliflower. Let's take a look. Okay, that's good. It smells like an Indian restaurant in here. It smells so good. Everybody will be very excited for dinner. I'm going to take this out so you guys can see. It's starting to brown. Oh, I'm getting like a facial. This is roasted cauliflower and broccoli. I'm going to give it a little toss. It's got a nice brown going on one side. And these are, I don't need to turn this on broil. We're going to just give those a little bit of a toss. Put those back in the oven for about 15 minutes. And maybe 10 minutes, I'll check on them in a few minutes. We'll put that away. And now let's check our chicken. This pan is both a favorite and a curse because it does so much stuff. It is such a beautiful, expensive Staub cast iron grill pan, but it is a pain in the neck to clean. So that's why I like to really oil it up and give it a really, I use this olive oil spray. Normally I use olive oil just in bulk that I get from Trader Joe's. I just realized my YouTube is much shorter. Hi, my head's getting cut off in the YouTube, sorry. I had a huge snafu in the beginning. If you were just joining me now, what you didn't see was that I dropped both cameras on the floor. So it was a little, typical of the things that I do. But anyways, this is just spray olive oil. You can use any kind of spray that you like when you're doing your cooking. Okay, our chicken is getting, we got to make sure that gets nice and brown. I'm going to turn this up too. Going to get it going. Oh, look at that. Can you see those grill marks? Woo! Oh, I'm dripping all over the floor. Well, oh well. Well, somebody will have them off the floor for me. What else can I tell you guys? I'm working on the cookbook even more. I've got a fire under my belly. I'm going to try and go back to the Hallmark channel. The Hallmark channel is having a massive kitchen remodel, so I'm hoping that they will invite me back. I'm pretty sure in the summertime. We'll do some summer recipes and really do some great stuff there. Okay. My chicken is coming together nicely. So here's the other thing about this chicken is that it is so great for leftovers. So even if you don't eat it all, which you probably will because it's so good, it's great to have in your lunch the next day. You can eat it cold. You can add it to tacos. So just a word about tacos, because I've mentioned them a couple times tonight. I haven't used my keto tortillas. I haven't made them in quite a while. They're going to be making an appearance again very soon. They're just egg whites and coconut flour, and they're super easy, but they take a long time to make. If you don't have the time or the resources or the desire to make your own tortillas, do not feel judged. We all have to pick our battles. I would suggest trying to get a low-carb tortilla. Try to not have a tortilla at all, actually. But if you could go with a low-carb tortilla, there are so many options, and they're available pretty much everywhere. Mission Tortillas has a 3-gram net carb tortilla. I can't remember the other name, but it's almost like a flatbread, and that's a pretty low-carb option for a wrap. But there's always an option, and don't ever feel like you're stuck in that you don't have choices. So our chicken is coming together nicely. Our roasted cauliflower and broccoli is almost done. Let's take a look at that, and we'll see if that's ready to come out of the oven. Oh, so perfect. This is great. So our cauliflower and broccoli is all done. Our chicken satay is doing its thing. I'm going to take it off of here in about 2 minutes. I'll put it on a plate. I'll cover it with foil until everybody is ready to eat, and that'll just continue cooking. But it's getting a nice sear on the back side of this. Our peanut dipping sauce has done just, it's sort of sitting here kind of melding all the flavors together. And one last thing I want to show you guys before I say goodbye. I made today the most beautiful raspberry cheesecake tart. You can use a pie tin if you don't have a tart pan. Don't feel like you have to use like this special fancy tart pan. But I wanted to show you what it looks like because it's so beautiful. I'm very proud of it. This is my raspberry cheesecake tart. And this is, you'll see some pictures on Instagram at The Kelly Kitchen on Instagram. Any of my social is The Kelly Kitchen, except for Twitter. It's just The Kelly Kitch. But pictures are so pretty. And I'll be putting up the recipe for this either tonight or tomorrow morning. But this came together in like 30 minutes. The only thing that takes a long time on this keto raspberry cheesecake, and it's pretty low carb. I think it's like 3 or 4 grams net carbs per slice. And this tart is about 10 to 12 slices, depending on how big you want them. But it's pretty low carb, and it's super delicious and creamy, and you can store it in the freezer if you want to. I would suggest cutting it in slices and then storing it before. I wouldn't store it just like this. Peter's office will be getting some of this tomorrow. Let's take one last look at my chicken satay and see. Oh, very nice. We'll put it on a plate so you guys can take a look. I'm not going to try this right now because I'm going to let it cook some more on the plate. But then we're going to serve it with the cauliflower rice and the peanut dipping sauce. And if you take a look, you don't need the bamboo skewers at all. Hi, Danya. How are you? You don't need the chicken skewers at all. You can have them if you want for like a barbecue, but it's just extra work that I really don't want to do. And those bamboo skewers probably wouldn't fit in this pan anyways. So I just take these off. We're going to serve these after I cover them in some foil, make sure that they're fully cooked. And you guys, we're done ahead of time. Woohoo! Thanks so much for joining me. This was super fun. I'm always looking for more ideas and suggestions for things that you guys would like to see made low carb. Any questions you have, I love getting emails. I love getting, comments and questions and stuff like that, or suggestions. Thank you so much for watching. Share everything everywhere. Like and subscribe on YouTube. And thank you so much for joining me on The Kelly Kitchen, where we have food and health and fun. All right, bye. And not too bad of a cleanup. Okay, we're going to say bye-bye and thank you. Bye. And bye.